So hello everybody out there in YouTube land. This is your t-shirted historian, and as we more or less kind of count down the days to OGL 1.1 dropping, I thought I'd show you some products that are at risk of going away, possibly. I don't necessarily have confirmation from the publishers that they will go away for certain, but all these games have copies of the OGL 1.07a in their license in the back of the books. So none of these guys are really huge publishers. They're not mega publishers. They don't have tons and tons of money. I think a few of them have kickstarted some products, but it's not like any of them are just driving gold-plated Hummers and swimming in swimming pools, lined in diamonds or anything crazy. As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody in gaming whatsoever who is a TTRPG creator, publisher, or anything lives that kind of a lifestyle. And I'll be honest. I do get royalties from the sales of products that I worked on. Let's just say I couldn't support myself on those royalties. And we have a lot of books out, and they're all in danger of going away also. But rather than go and shill for myself, I'm going to shill for these really excellent games that are at risk of going away, because I think that they are really great works. They need to be shared. People need to be aware of them. And you need a chance to get them before they're gone. Like I said, I can't say with any certainty that they're all going to go away. But right now, a lot of the panic seems to be creating, a lot of, panic. There's a lot of publishers who are pulling stuff off of Drive-Thru RPG. And likely when the OGL 1.1 drops and everything settles down, there's probably going to be a lot of other companies that are going to pull their products. Now, I don't know if they're going to retool their products to be system neutral or, compatible with another publisher like Castles and Crusades. I certainly hope so. I would hate to lose these things in perpetuity, but there's a chance, guys. And if there's a chance that it's going to be gone forever, I want to at least let you guys know what it is you might be missing out on. And I've talked about some of these, on Weekend Geek and stuff, but not really at any length. So I want to do that with you guys today. Let me put on a little bit of mood music here. I think. What are we thinking? This will work pretty well. Hey, Shadow and Sun. So, first up on the list is For Coin and Blood, 2nd edition. I got the POD, of course. These are all available from Drive-Thru RPG, by the way. So I don't know if you have any pogroms against them or not, but if you do, then I guess you're not buying it anyway. But on the chance that you want to pick up a good work and not lose it, as you can see, this is Open Gaming License 1.0a. Apparently this was intended to be used mostly with sword and wizardry, which I kind of wonder about Frog God games. I wonder how they're going to fare with all this. But anyway, this is For Coin and Blood. And it's a small little book, you can see one hand span. It's very dense. Kind of Reminds me of the old Arduin books a little bit. But yeah, this is OSL compatible. It's got some really nice rules. Got some great artwork. They use advantage and disadvantage. They have skill tests. It uses the 6 attribute scores. Does a couple of things that I like. Let's see. Yeah, it actually does talk about character retirement in this one. And profession. It's got a neat little list of character classes. If you're not aware what the setting is, you're playing a villain, basically. You're a member of an underworld, and the whole campaign is basically to revolve around what you get up to as a member of the underworld. And they have the witch hunter, the sellsword, the priest, the magus, the Machiavellian, the knight, the executioner, diabolist, cutpurse, blackguard, and the assassin. Of course. I didn't see it listed, but one thing about their hit point system is really interesting, because their hit point system is you get your con score, and then you get 1 hit point every level. And that's it. So it stops the power creep from hit points. But yeah, we have the assassin. We see here they have 1 saving throw for everything. They don't have multiple saving throws. Lifeblood, yeah. Experience points, armor restrictions, everything, disguise, all this good stuff. They also have, what's interesting is costs per mission, or payments for missions. So if you did want to have a team of assassins, you could actually figure out how much money you're going to make off your kills. And at 9th level, they can establish guilds. It's pretty cool. It's only a 10 level system, by the way, as you can see. We have the Blackguard, who is a warrior clad in the authority and raiment of a priest, serving dark gods, the bloodhound of evil, tracking enemies of cults and churches alike. These are not good guys. None of these are good guys. Cutpurse, obvious street thief type. They actually have a thievery ability. It does, doesn't it? Shadow and Sun. I got some of those Arduin vibes from this. Kind of like it. We have the Diabolist, who is, as the name suggests, they pact with demons. And depending on which pack you pick, gives you some different stuff. It's not really like the Warlocks. So you couldn't get the two confused. Hey, Errant Dragon. Good morning. Good afternoon, I would say. Diabolist can summon demons, as you can see. They have the Executioner. They have the Arterial Spray ability. It's kind of cool. And they have Lethality, which means they increase their critical hit range by their lethality rating. So the higher in level they get, the bigger their threat range gets, which when you're talking like a 5 lethality at 9th level, that means you crit on a 15 or better. That's deadly. And if somehow you have a weapon or something like that that increases your threat range even higher, you're going to be critting a lot. A knight, of all people, you would think would be a good guy. They're actually not. These are more like sellsword knights. What book is this, Errant Dragon? This is For Coin and Blood, 2nd edition. The Machiavellian, who's a master manipulator. The Magus. He's got the typical spells by level thing. You notice spells only go up to level 5. And you don't get those until 9th and 10th level. This is a low fantasy, low powered, low magic style of gaming system, and I like that a lot. I have really grown to appreciate low fantasy type settings and systems more than any others because for years and years and years, the high magic never made much sense to me. Because if you have so much magic that you can do things like bring back the dead, alter reality, or wish things into existence or whatever, then quite clearly nothing in that world is permanent and nothing really matters. You know, oh, your hero got his arm lopped off. Well, that's no big deal. Just get a druid to regenerate it for him. Oh, your hero died. That's okay. Just get a cleric to raise him from the dead. Oh, things didn't turn out the way you wanted to and somebody you really loved died. That's okay. You can just alter reality to make sure it doesn't happen by using a wish. I don't like that. I like low fantasy, where choices make a difference. Hey, Gen X Geek. Yeah, I wonder about ambition and avarice too, Errant Dragon. We have the priest. You can see they're clearly not. We have healers or war priests. So you can either choose violence or healing. It's kind of like that. There's a little bit of a difference in which one you pick. The Cell Sword. These are probably the most dangerous guys in the game, besides the Executioners, because they're just ferocious combatants. Oh, and something else to keep an eye on. Every class has a base damage that's built into the class, right? It's kind of to keep it simple rather than everybody jockeying for the best equipment. You just have your base damage for all your characters, and it's added onto by your weapons and things. But like Cell Swords have a base damage of a D10, and when you consider that characters are only getting their con plus their level and hit points, this guy gets a couple of lucky hits on you and you're done for it. Hey, Tunkatod. We have the Witch Hunter, pretty self-explanatory. We have our equipment description, equipment weights, pretty standard stuff. Nothing special there. You have equipment packages to make it quick. You have mount. You have sample melee weapons. You notice there's no damages, right? Because the damage is already built into the class. But they do have certain properties that make them operate differently, like brutal or versatile or reach or defensive or armor piercing. Hey, Papa Cotton. It's good to see you, brother. I understand you can't stay. Well, that's all right, man. Love you, and anyway, I'm glad you showed up. This game has firearms. It's pretty cool. I get the sense that it is, 1600s style. Yeah. In combat, after every combat, your armor degrades, which I like a degrading armor system, so you have to spend time fixing it, otherwise it will stop protecting you, because armor in this system doesn't so much give you AC as it gives you bonuses to soak up damage. See here? The damage reduction of your armor, it just depends on what kind you have, like, light armors. And they don't go into a lot of details about it, None of that. Okay, let me just put it this way. I think a lot of this is kind of done to reduce the shopping trips because, normally you end up with the shopping trips and people trying to min-max to get all the best stuff. This kind of does away with some of that by making the armor and weaponry a little bit more generic and making it more class dependent. Yep, you have magic weapons and what they can do. They have different properties, as you can see. Poisons. Of course you have to have poisons. Everybody in this game is evil. And you hire staff instead of hirelings. It has a really good selection of poisons, too. You have skill test. You got your movement, combat. You have grim effort, which is pretty cool. If you fail a skill test on a D20 roll, you can evoke Grim Effort, which is you lose any number of lifeblood, which is what they call hit points, to add an equivalent amount to the result of their roll. So, yeah, it allows you to succeed at the expense of suffering harm. I like this immensely. This is a really cool risk versus reward mechanic. And I can't tell you, I love risk versus reward mechanics in games, especially when you're dealing with such low hit points. You know, are you really going to lose a few hit points in order to succeed at picking this lock, knowing that the next fight may kill you, and healing isn't necessarily that readily available? You have exploits, which are done when you have critical hits. You have critical fumbles, feints, and disarms. Negotiation and diplomacy, and considering how low the hit points are, I would expect that this comes into play a lot more than this. Just saying. Because after you lose a few characters, you're probably going to want to try to talk it out rather than try to kill it out. It's too risky for your characters. You have underwater combat rules. And yeah, have sacrifice rules. So sacrifices can be made to gain power or XP, and depending on who or what you sacrifice and the potency of it, you can gain more or less, get more powerful abilities if you're a priest or a ritualist or a magus or something. Esh, my friend Esh Singh, who streams with us, will probably like that because he tends to play a really good bad guy, despite being one of the sweetest people I know. Artifacts and magic weapons cause corruption. I love this. We have smuggling modifiers, investigations, we have an actual spell list, which is pretty standard. I know if they're wanting to continue to publish and get away from the OGL, they're probably going to have to change all their spells. As you can see, they only go up to level 5 and, well, level 6 in this case. And they're very limited. So you don't have wishes in here. And let me check really quick. I'll bet you Raise Dead's not in this. Let's see. You have Reincarnation. You have Animate Dead. You do not have Raise Dead. That tells you a lot right there. If you die, this is your only option to come back. And who knows what you're going to come back as. Hey, Bob Jester 28. We're looking at Coin and Blood 2nd edition. We're also going to be looking at some other stuff. I may be taking too long on this one. I'm curious what the reincarnation table looks like. See how nasty it is. Let's see. Spell brings a dead character's soul back from the dead, but the soul reappears in a newly formed body. Okay, it doesn't have a table for reincarnation, which is something I always enjoyed because, if you came back as a squirrel or something, that's going to be an interesting twist on your character. We have rules for expanding the game with camping and camp defenses. I love stuff like this because a lot of people ignore or hand wave camping. Thing is, if you're doing a lot of overland adventuring and stuff like that, camping is going to be something that's going to come into play a lot. Setting up a camp, making sure that you have access to water, food, and, a latrine. These are things that don't normally matter to the regular player or anything like that, but to a DM like me, that matters. Not that I'm going to say, like, well, where did you set up your latrine? Unless it matters. But, yeah, having encounters at night is a big deal. We have hex crawl rules. We have mass battle rules. We have a little bit of a bestiary here. We have some organizations and gangs and how to earn membership and building your own gang. Here's their critical hit chart. It is, as you can see, pretty pretty sick depending on where you get hit because it uses hit locations. So getting hit in the head, you could end up with a nasty scar or a slashed throat. Good stuff. We have unique magic items. If you're a magic items person, you'll probably enjoy these. We have a little bit of history of their port city, where a lot of this stuff is supposed to take place. So they do have a locale already in mind for you to play in, if you so desire. And I like stuff like this. We have a little bit of fiction in the back to help you get in the mood. And we have our character sheet. The only thing we don't have in here, I believe, is an index. No index. Oh, well, -1 point for not having an index, but we do have a character sheet. So that is for Coin and Blood. I don't know if this is going to continue after OGL 1.1 comes out. I hope it does. I think they have a really awesome, very complete little game. It's not horribly expensive. Grab a copy now if you can. And if you're like me, spring for a print copy because print is awesome. They can't take that away from you. This next one. Let's say you're tired of fantasy gaming and you want to do something a little bit different, but you don't want to play Cyberpunk. We have Low Life 2090. And I'm constantly getting the name on this one wrong. I'm saying, Low Life 2050 and all this other stuff. Hey, Tabletop Junkies, good to see you, bro. Change the mood a little bit. Oh, no, not for this. We don't know. Let's find something else. So yeah, let's say you don't want to buy into Cyberpunk, but you'll want to play something cyberpunky with magic and stuff. You don't want to get into Shadowrun. Low Life 2090 got you covered. This is by Pickpocket Press. It is a thick mother of a book. I paid $75 for this one because I wanted the premium quality print, but if you want a lesser quality print, you can get it for about $45. I recommend premium always, but you do what your financial means can help you do. I like this company, Pickpocket Press, immensely. You should check them out on social media if you can. This guy, Stephen J. Grudzicki, is a really good author, very intelligent guy. Yeah, jump right into it. This is Cyberpunk with magic. The whole character creation page. It's more Ginny. Yep. You can roll for your races. Minotaurs are a starting race. As you can see, they have attribute modifiers that go well in excess of 18, which is something I like. I think more systems need to take this into account. The artwork, it kind of is what it is. I don't particularly care for it. If I were going to play something, I'd be playing these guys. Minotaurs are kind of my deal. You have hit points, have your classes, you have Brawler, have starting network levels, they have augmentations. You actually start out with cyberware as an option. N-Tex. Oh man, switching back and forth between this thing all the time here, but only got so much room on the top. These guys have mutagens that they inject themselves with exarchs. Or mages. One hand. Hacker. That reminds me of Mike Pondsmith. Hey, Mike Pondsmith, where are you? How come you haven't come to see me yet? The Infiltrator. Camera. Influencers. Have I ever listened to Clannad? Yeah, I've got a couple of Clannad albums. We have your mage, your actual mage, because this is cyberpunk with magic. We have the Vex. This is kind of cool. Every lowlife has a turning point from their past, which is an irreversible moment where your life changes forever. You can roll a 1d20 and find out what it is. This adds more backstory to you, and it also gives you some extra abilities like Sack Town and Low Living Standard, or War Hope and Low Living Standard. We have unique features for the characters, where they can get attribute boosts, or they can get Charm Life, City Rat, all these kind of things that add more to your character. This game is all about customizing your experience, and what unique features do is every level you get whatever the level gives you, but you also get what's called a unique feature. And the unique feature can be whatever you want it to be. Like, let's say you're a Minotaur Brawler, you just made level 2, you have a unique feature coming up. Okay. Maybe you want to pick one from the book, or maybe you want something special, like, your character has had his nose broken so many times that he no longer feels pain, and so he gets bonuses to, hit points and stuff. But I love this. I love systems where they let you customize, because now this means, like, if you have 2 or 3 of the same character at the table, they're not all going to be alike, depending on what they pick. And I like stuff like that. We have a reroll pool, which is something to talk about. So each PC starts an adventure with 1 reroll pool dice for 2 levels. And if you fail an attribute check, but you have a relevant skill, you can choose to reroll, but it can only be accessed once per attempted action. And you can, of course, apply advantage or disadvantage if you have it. And it says usually it's for all dead or mostly dead tests. I'll show you what that's all about. Yep. Skills. Post checks. Combat. All the rules governing it. This is a thick book. So we have a chase event table. So, if you're pursuing somebody, we have all these different things that can happen during the chase that can keep it kind of random. I like that very much. We have a list of common actions and things during combat. We define what happens when you shoot into melee. Nice little cartoon here, illustrating combat. Better put a list in the description too. Yeah, don't worry, I will, Ironcaster. I just don't want to give anything away. You have exploits that you can pull off during combat, which is pretty cool. Sorry, I'm trying to get through these, not belaboring it too much. If you're really interested in it, you'll buy it. If I can't get you to buy it just from my little presentation of it, then you're just not going to buy it. Yeah, It's got vehicle combat rules, of course. Vehicles are a thing. It also has land vehicle events and flying vehicle events and water vehicle events. We have vehicle trauma, which is from collisions and heavy weapons and stuff like that. Then finally, we have injury and death. So at 50% of your hit point loss, you are staggered. And when you're staggered, sometimes things will change for you. Enemies can do different things. Maybe sometimes if they're staggered, PCs may gain special abilities that activate when they're only staggered. And if you hit 0 hit points, you're either all dead or mostly dead. If you're all dead, then you're 0 hit points, you blew your luck roll, and you're gone. If you're mostly dead, you're not completely gone, you're just unconscious and in the process of dying, but you can be saved by the quick help of your allies. And after combat, the adjacent character may stabilize a dying PC by applying healing magic, staunching wounds, yelling, "Stay away from the light," and so on and so on. Which I like this. So, you don't get a death save. Well, you do, but you don't. It's not like 3 death saves. It's like, if you go down to 0, you make your check. Either you're all dead or you're mostly dead. And this is what you want to save your rerolls for, most likely, when you're early on, if you want to survive, so you don't permanently die. And every time you have an injury that reduces you to near death, you will come away with an injury or a setback that will permanently change your character, or at least, as permanently as a game with magic and cybernetics can. And these things can cause you some lingering injuries. Hey, Cinder Shadow, good to see you, man. So this is worth it. At this point, I would honestly say, like, if I would sold you on this thing, then you're probably not going to buy it because you're not interested in it. But just in case, yeah, we have all kinds of injuries related to different types of trauma. We have blade trauma, we have blast trauma, we have bullet trauma, we have blunt trauma, we have toxin trauma. We have rules for healing and recovery. Your friend's only mostly dead. We have hacking rules. We have VR rules, and I'm not even all the way through this yet, guys. This is only as far as I am on this. We still got like a big old chunk of book here to go through. It's a hefty book. I'm skipping some stuff now. Dark Flux is what happens when you start casting magic, because magic has a downside in this game, and that is the more you cast it, the greater the chances are that something bad is going to happen to you, because you're playing with forces that you were not supposed to. And chances are something bad is going to happen to you. And then when that happens, eventually you have to roll on the Dark Flux table. And you end up with stuff like Pentacles, or Called from Below, or Time Slips, or Aqueous Shifts. Weird things like this that follow you. I think this is really awesome. Again, it's the risk versus reward thing. If you're playing a caster, you're risking becoming soulless or gender shifting, which, I guess that's not that bad. But we have magic gear. Of course, we have ritual effects. We have all of our spells. And most spells have really cool names. Crush of the Warp, Conjoining the Third Eye, Dr. Rubin's Incogitable Cure-All, Kiln's Benevolent Imbuement, Hattori's Silent Shroud. Really cool names. Takamara's Six Demon Bag. What more could you want? Have an impressive list of gear. And once again, armor doesn't so much give you armor class, but it does give you protection. You have modifications to your armor. You have all kinds of different ammunition that you can use. You have so much gun porn in here. It's just unbelievable. We have literally like pages and pages of guns. You just go wild, go crazy with your heart's content with all these different things to kill people with. You have your standard melee weapons. You have chainsaws. Come on, man. The system gives you chainsaws. I'm already sold. We have rules for silencers and suppressors. We have rules for what happens if your gun is made of carbonite polymers and things like that. If you have laser sights, we have a drug index for all kinds of crazy drugs that you can use. I mean, this game is complete. It covers everything that you might need to know about to run this game. And that's what I like about it. It's totally complete. Totally standalone. You don't have to buy a bunch more crap. Utility gear, we have cyberware. Here's what most of us are excited about is the cyberware. These are cyberware malfunctions. We have all kinds of body modifications, skin shaders, grapple whips, nano assemblers, lifelike appearances, strength graphs, custom cosmetics, cyber limb weapons, armored limbs, jump circles, Wi-Fi ports, cyber ears. We have a huge vehicle, including aircraft and water vehicles. We have drones. We have downtime stuff if you want to deal with downtime, which is always nice. And we have dealing with recovery from persistent injuries, surgeries, cyberware repairs, addictions, and for network changes, depending on what you've done. Sweet. Then we finally get to the GM tool section. We have all kinds of encounter tables. Lowlife 2090 is designed to be sandboxed, which means they don't particularly... Well, in this case, they do have a setting, but if you didn't have a game set up ahead of time, you could freewheel your way through Mendoza City and just roll up random encounters depending on where your characters are. And it would still be fun because you have bar encounters, alley encounters, you have club encounters, mall encounters, office encounters. You have buildings and amenities to see what's in those buildings. My gosh. I hope you'll at least give it a look, if nothing else. So many different variables here. We have random junk that people could be carrying or file contents. Infamy, depending on how well you do and how badly you do. Favors that you can pick up. NPC stuff. Really, really detailed. As far as NPCs go, you will not get the same two NPCs twice, and they all have their own interesting catchphrases, like "Heard you left Oza." We have madness effects. We have weather effects. We have our bestiary finally, and enemies tend to come in a couple of flavors. Have like your regulars, your specialists, your heavies, and some bosses. And depending on what variant of the critter you're running into, it'll have more health points, can hit harder, and maybe have more special abilities. I don't know what to say, man. It's just awesome. And it's not all just cyberpunk stuff. It's, we've got some madness-inducing stuff here. Star beasts, animated objects. Because remember, Occult is part of this. VR swarms, you have doppelgangers, dragons, actual golems. We have the triads, Yakuza, we have SWAT, we have Highway Patrol, we have everything. Actually just kind of flipping through bunches of this now. We have vampires, we have have a rival groups that are already set up to go to deal with your group. Something I like. Then we finally get to Mendoza City itself, where that is their setting that they like you to play in. I mean, you're free to do whatever you want to. I mean, honestly, and I'm not throwing any shade on our Talsorian games, because I love you guys, I love Cyberpunk, and I love Mike Pondsmith. But let's say you didn't want to use their system, but you wanted to use Night City because, you know, you've been playing Cyberpunk 2077 and you know the city like the back of your hand, and you would really like to bring that to the table. You know, this game would let you do that. You just replace Mendoza City with this. We have a lexicon that is got its own unique words. You know, we don't have, you know, chooms and all this other stuff like Cyberpunk, but we do have things like beard biters and honkers and kev plates and lobos and low lifes and scabs and scarpers and stuff. We have a complete timeline of alternate history. Different factions, corporations, megacorps, beard biter, yeah. We have all the districts and stuff that happens in the districts, depending on which district you're in. Also, night versus day encounters, which that's so cool. Oh, yeah. This is all city right here. This is all city. All city. We're still all in city. Literally like taking like 3 or 4 pages at a time. Still all city. There's so much stuff here to keep your game running for months easily, just on random generated stuff, let alone a DM who actually sits down and wants to create an adventure. Finally, we get to the Outlands. Yeah, the city's not the only place you can go. You can go into the Outlands and you can see all the stuff that's outside the city and how nasty it is, and stuff out there is worse. You'll run into all kinds of things out there. We have, of course, our character sheet. This has an appendix, which automatically, I love this because appendixes are good. These are good for GMs who need to access stuff really quickly. And yes, it has an index. So, yay, +1. Thank you, Pickpocket Press. I love you guys. Unfortunately, it is OGL 1.0A. This might go away. I don't know if it will or not. I hope it doesn't. I love Pickpocket Press. I love these guys. I think that they've got a really good book here. They kickstarted this last year and I missed out on my opportunity, and I had to pick it up from Drive-Thru RPG, and I had to pay a premium cost for premium packaging, but the game is impressive, guys. It's and girls. It's impressive. I like it a lot, and if I haven't impressed you with looking at it so far, then clearly you are not easily impressed, I guess. I don't know what to say. Yay, Cerulean Rex. Yeah, Pickpocket OGL. Yeah, that book is great. And by the same company, Pickpocket Press, we have Low Fantasy Gaming. And I got the deluxe edition because I'm just spoiled that way. Yeah, I dig them too, Cerulean. And as you can see, it's another really thick book. You know, it's like 1 finger joint worth of thickness. Now, it's not quite as complete as Low Life 2090, but with all the settings and everything else, I think this will meld into your gaming experience just fine because it's fully OSL compatible. You can just drop stuff from this into your game if you don't want to use the actual set. Let's take a look. Probably a good idea to change the music since we're not doing cyberpunk stuff, huh? Let's see what sounds good for this. Yes, Aaron Dragon. Kevin Crawford's next game is Cities Without Number. It is full cyberpunk, and I can't tell you how massively excited I am for it. Ironcaster told me about it a few weeks ago, and I have been pumped for Cities Without Number. I can't wait till it comes out. DCC or CNC? Well, I think DCC is going to be okay. I don't know. I think their system is different enough that they won't get hurt. I would get CNC just because it's so cheap right now. Once again, this is 2019 Pickpocket Press. Again, jump up on their website, check them out, say hello to them on social media. Really good guys. Shadow, I did not see your latest video. I will check it out as soon as I'm done, I promise you. Alright, let's jump right in. So, we have 9 classes. We have 12 level max. We have unique features like Lowlife 2090. Every 3rd level, you get an ability that either you design or you can choose from up to 36 different examples. These are unique features for your character that make them different from everyone else's character. And I love that because it's, customization is, the king in RPGs. Nobody wants to be a carbon copy of somebody else. We have a roll equal or under skill system. We also do have an actual skill system and a reroll pool, just like 2090. We have diminishing luck attribute, which is like the one that is used in 2090. We have dangerous combat. We have minor and major rescue exploits, just like 2090. We have party retreat and chases. We have 5-minute short rests to recover hit points and class abilities, which encourages the party to push on rather than camp. You can say what you will about short rests in 5th edition. I find them annoying, and I noticed that they must have too because they decided that they're not going to use it in the upcoming D&D 1 as far as I know. But for this, I think it's good because, well, I mean, quite simply, it's like it allows you to kind of run in a healerless party. You have long rests, which take longer, a D6 days, or D4 in a safe, comfortable environment, which mitigates the rest repeat problem for adventurers, with long periods between battles. We have the dark and dangerous magic tests, which means, again, if you cast magic in this system, it is a low fantasy setting. Therefore, magic has a chance of backlashing on you. And it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it will happen because it just continues to accumulate until it does finally kick off. Cerulean Rex, yeah, you're right. CNC is offering 5 copies of their PHB for 125. Yeah, they've had that on offer for a long time now. In fact, my first CNC purchases were those 5-player handbooks. I distributed them as gifts for Christmas one year. All right. These guys may be okay. It says here, open game content, 99% is open game content under open game license. We shall see. Like I said, I haven't talked to the guys at Pickpocket. I haven't asked them if they are going to drop this or not, or if they're going to change it. I hope they change it. Your character creation system. And I love the artwork in this more. I think it's more fantasy style. And also, if you notice, the pages have a yellowing. It's not standard white. What do I have for comparison here? Okay. Yeah. See, this is white, and This is a slight yellowing color, but you can also get this book with plain black and white in order to be able to print it. Kobold Press is going to make their own RPG now that's free of any attachment. Yeah, I heard about that, Errant Dragon. I heard about that. Alright, so we got your standard attribute modifiers. We have your races. We got humans, dwarves, half-scorn. Which are... Half-scorn are basically... The Scorn are their version of orcs, more or less. They're not called orcs. But anyway, yeah, that's what they are. Halflings, we have elves. Because of course we have elves. We have to have elves all the time because people won't play if you don't have elves. The hit point system also uses the same staggered mechanism as 2090. Like I said, every third level you get a unique feature. Right off the bat, you have your Artificer. So this guy made it in. Gets interesting abilities and stuff every level. Barbarian, of course. It's going to feel familiar if you're, a regular OGL D&D gamer. Bard. Cultist. This replaces clerics. Cultists are a little different in how that they can cast spells and things. They have blessings. They have lay on hands. They have other abilities already built into the character. So you don't have to cast those as spells. Hey, violence. They have some example gods. They also have tenets and favor, and in order to gain favor, you have to take actions such as promoting, enacting, or adhering to one or more tenets, depending on what they are. And I like this because too many times in D&D, the cleric's role is kind of hand-waved. It's kind of like, oh, we only brought a cleric along because we needed a heal bot. And a cleric can just get away with being a heal bot without actually doing anything that requires them to pay homage to their god or anything. I mean, unless, of course, they're really good role players, in which case they'll do that anyway. But this actually makes it a mechanic. And I like that. And yeah, some of the tenets are like venerate the sun and flame, explore uncharted wilds, give to the earth, reject the hollow adornments, root out and destroy abominations, and get benefits from your patronage to whichever god it is. Which, big thumbs up from me, man. Big thumbs up from me. We got your fighter, your standard guys, yeah. Notice how big the hit points are. 1d5 plus 5. Plus con bonus. Your basic magic user. 1d3 plus 3 plus con. 6 hit point magic user. We got your monk. Your monk is pretty nasty in this. Have lots of inbuilt abilities that don't necessarily jive with your standard D&D monk. These are a little bit more cinematic and a little bit cooler. I like that. Got your Aragorns, your Rangers. Have your Rogues. We talk about the unique features and let's take a look at some of those. Dauntless. Yeah, this is something you can pick up. And these have levels to them. So, like, you can pick it up multiple times, and you can pick up, like, immune to fear effects, gain advantage on luck and will saves, immune to madness. They're as simple as this to Faustian pacts. Or whatever have you, It's or secret histories, or slippery bastard, or whatever. And, of course, you can always make them up. Skill systems have bonds built into your party members already, so if you have to put a party together really quickly, you can figure out how they know each other and how they relate to each other. And this list is pretty extensive, as you can see. We have an equipment chart. Kind of your usual weapons and things. Take a look at their armor real quick to see how that works, because I bet it works the same as 2050. Yep, shields give you +1 AC, and they may be used to negate a single directional attack, be it a sword strike, lightning bolt, or dragon ride. Oh, and by the way, something I did not mention for both games, Pickpocket Press believes that natural 19s are also as valuable as natural 20s. Therefore, every time you roll a natural 20, your weapon will do a special effect. And by the same token, so will your enemies. But like on a battle axe, right? Let's see. On a natural 19 to hit the roll, the target must roll an injuries and setbacks table. Or you can choose to make a luck save to negate it. Also good for chopping through trees, doors, chains, and chests. Yeah. I'll be honest, half of the way that this is written is very pithy and pretty fun. You know, it's great. I love it. We have our checks. We have group checks also. We have retries, percentile checks. We have combat with initiatives and delaying of turns and 5-finger countdown, standing up from prone, all the standard stuff. Pretty. But it also has this, which I like a lot. This is for the chase events. So, like, if you're going to do a chase, these are all different things that happen during a chase or can happen during a chase. Common actions, melee, ranged. You have all your major exploits and minor exploits. Fighting styles. We have miscellaneous factors like surprise, positioning, critical hits, and fumbles. And again, we have the all dead, mostly dead, injury, and healing. And permanent wounds. We have our dark and dangerous magic system, where eventually casting will catch up to you. And you could end up getting something like an enraged random aberrant terror demon or undead monster controlled by the GM appears. Or your skin could be covered in mucus. We also have divine rebukes. If you fumble or you otherwise blow your clerical casting, your god might get angry and do one of these things to you. Our spell list. And their spells are kind of uniquely named. So you're not going to find, you know, like Raise Dead and all that stuff. So I like that. It has more flavor. It also means that they're less likely to incur the wrath of Wizards of the Coast. Because, well, some of them aren't. Finger of Death and such. But just remember, kiddies, the less like D&D it is, the better the chance that it'll be around. We have downtimes, crafting, then we finally get to the GM section, where we talk about black powder weapons, we talk about naval combat, we have the effects of artillery, we have crew versus crew combat, we have sinking and ramming, we have all kinds of different ships here. We have disease. And then we finally actually get to the random table stuff as far as dungeons go. This is stuff that you can find in the rooms. Again, this is designed to be sandboxed, so there's a lot of tables in here to help you with this. Excuse me, I gotta grab a drink. Okay. different encounters depending on which terrain you're in. It's very extensive. Again, even if you don't use this system, all of the tables in here and some of the alternate rules and things more than make it well worth its purchase price. We get to my favorite part, which is the hirelings, and you're going to ask me, why the hirelings t-shirt? Well, because their hireling tables are great. You have the name and sex of your hireling. You have nicknames for them. You have their backgrounds. You have quirks, such as hears voices, pilferer, godless, sassy. You have traits, like one of them could be a half-scorn, one of them could be sumo-sized, one might have hairy palms, ew. You have a complete list of gear that they carry, automatically generated here. You have catchphrases. I love the catchphrases, I'm sorry. There's some bad juju. Ain't got time to die. Is it just me, or smells like a trap? Balls. I never liked him anyway. These are great. Stuff to help you kind of remember your hireling, and have an armored pug. You have things about pets and pet qualities. You have tables for payback if hirelings are treated badly. Oh. If you're gonna sub to Shadow and Sun, also sub to Ironcaster, my boy out there. He's one of my main contributors for the Week in Geek, and I couldn't do it without him. We have madness, severities, and penalties. We have mass combat rules. We have twists in the battle. I always like stuff like that. Still in mass combat. Finally get to the monster section. Some of these are pretty funny. It tells you how you can customize monsters, how you can build boss monsters, how you can build specialist monsters, things like that. So even though they think they're just going up against a regular troll, it might be a boss troll. Your demons and devils and dragons. Dragons don't come in like billions of flavors. They're pretty generic. Low fantasy gaming, what'd you expect? Golems with giants. My favorite is the troll. Let's get to the troll. Yeah, we have humans in here too if you need them really quickly. You were subbed to Iron before? Okay, well good. He needs the subs. I need the subs. We both need the subs. Tell your friends. Oh my gosh, sub to us. We need subs. Okay, here's the troll. I like that it says number appearing 1d12. If 12 trolls show up, your party's dead. Okay, just forget it. They better run. Come on, camera. Come on. It's like, I don't want to focus. There we go. So, I mean, they're nothing special as far as monsters go necessarily. They're pretty standard, except that on a natural 19, if the target is accompanied by a pet or henchman, the pet or ally is eaten by the troll or has a limb torn off. It sucks to be your hireling or your pet and get attacked by a troll. Yeah, all these titles are available on DTRPG, Cerulean. I wish I had another source. I don't know, maybe if you get up on their websites, you could find an alternate source, but as far as I know, that's the only place to get them. They have some unique things like the ergot, barrel whites. Really good picture of a dragon there. You have rival adventuring groups, just like Low Life. You have tavern brawl tables. So if you get into a fight in a tavern, you can actually have some random stuff happen in there. A trap index. Totally random. Just totally make them fall away. I have a few pre-made ones here, like Snare and Roast or Gargoyle's Delight, Trader Pits, Flesh Eater Tanks, Transmutation Bridge. That sounds nasty. Some really good artwork. Tavern Bard tables, huh? Here is carry loot for different things that you find. So it's like now you have a loot table. You can just roll really quickly on this and figure out what people have on them. You have lair treasures, you have trinkets and curios. It's tables upon tables upon tables. Good stuff. Valuables. All kinds, depending on where you are. Potions with strange names like Soothing Edict or Wisp Unseen. Spell scrolls. We have magic items. Some of them do really random, weird things, and I like stuff like this. And here's the other thing, too, I didn't mention. Using magic items in this system also causes the dark effect. So if you keep using a magic item over and over and over, eventually bad things can happen to you. Because once again, magic is established as forces you were not meant to play with. So you run the risk versus reward every time you use a magical item. So my advice is, if you want to pull out one of those old Monty Hall early edition D&D dungeons, you know the ones I'm talking about, where they drop tons and tons of magic items, feel free to let the party have as many of those as you want to and apply these rules. Eventually, they're going to start wondering whether or not it's really, really worth it to use that, that magic wand. Are they really willing to suffer the consequences of, maybe getting turned into a toad or having a demon get summoned? Hey, Dave. Now, they do talk about their setting a little bit. They actually have a setting book. They also have a Appendix N here with other settings. They also have a complete list of spell names that they converted. So, like, if you were looking it up in another book or something like that, like Chain Lightning, you wanted to find the Chain Lightning spell and you didn't know what they call it in this book, you can look here and find it. It's called Stormlord's Vengeance. Pretty cool. And then finally, we have names for all your characters based on where they live, where they come from, and random personality quirks, speech quirks, physical features, and things like that. I'll get to it in the companion book when I get there, because we're almost done with this. We have combat cheat sheets. We have a really beautiful looking character sheets here. We have an appendix, or an index. +1 pickpocket. And unfortunately, we do have that pesky OGL, which may or may not cause them some grief. I hope not. Yeah, that is Low Fantasy Gaming Deluxe Edition. Absolutely get this. You can get the first edition one for free up on DriveThruRPG just to check it out, and I highly recommend it. In fact, they have a lot of free stuff from Pickpocket Press. Download all of it while you can. Check it out. Enjoy it. They even have some really good adventures that I highly recommend. And I'll talk about that here in a sec. But yeah, I really recommend this book. I heavily endorse this, and I have been meaning to talk about this book for a long time. and I have been remiss. So thank you for being patient with me, Pickpocket Press. I'm sorry it took so long, and I'm sorry it's coming on the eve of the new OGL, which may or may not cause you a little bit of pain. I hope not. Also picked up the companion for this. Pretty good. Again, we have some great artwork. Just pulling through it really quick. It has more downtime things, including black market trade. It has gambling. It just mostly has a lot of things for downtime. It has domain rules. It has a new class called the Scion. It has more unique features that you can add to your game if you so choose. It also has alternate rules, such as different methods of XP advancement, off-turn attacks, insight skills, great success, terrible mod. It has perilous magic, which is less dangerous than the magic system in the main book. So if you want a kinder, gentler penalty for casting magic, you can use this. It has a few more minor charms and major items. What it also has, I believe, if it's in this book, let's see, index. It must be in the main book, but okay. No, it has some more critters too, by the way. So, definitely worth picking up along with your regular book. I'm not going to go through all of this because it's well, you know, it's a companion. You want to get the core book first, and if you like the core book, you'll buy the companion because it's got more good stuff in it. You definitely going to want it. One thing about low fantasy gaming is it has 0 level rules to start with, and that is your character starts out at 0 level, and there's an adventure that is I forget the name of it, but it is called something the Colossus, like a journey to the Colossus or something. And it makes use of these 0 level rules where your character basically starts out as a nobody and with random gear and very few hit points and kind of maybe not a great chance to survive. But I like 0 level entries into gaming. I think they're better than starting out at 1st or 3rd or whatever like that. Just call it my sense of, punishment or whatever. It's just, I think it's more fun to literally create a character from the ground up. You don't have to write a 15-page backstory. You start off with a 0 level character. You try to survive the opening adventure, and if you do, you get your main level, your main class, and you get to proceed on as a true hero, and you actually get to see what the difference is between your characters and your average everyday Joes who, probably die of ergot on a stinking straw mattress covered with fleas. But anyway, yeah. Hey, Brad. Oh, yeah. Call of the Colossus. That's it. Call of the Colossus. Yeah, the companion has the best carousing table ever. Yes, it does. It does. Am I going after an ASMR crowd here? Bruno, you find my voice that attractive? Thank you. But yeah, there you go. There is, those are games that you can buy. Let me go back through them. We have Low Fantasy Gaming Companion. We have Low Fantasy Gaming Deluxe Edition. I highly recommend this. Go get this now. Do it. You'll be glad you did. I promise you, it's a good buy, even if all you do is use the tables. We have Low Life 2090. It's complete cyberpunk system using OGL. Absolutely get this if you are a Shadowrun fan, but you don't want to throw 4 billion D6s and you're tired of Shadowrun's gaming system. Absolutely get this. Or if you love cyberpunk but you don't necessarily like the rules, get this. And if you want to be the bad guys, or you want to do more with your guilds, or you want to just explore alternative campaigns where your characters are not so nice, get this. These are all OGL titles. They may all be gone after the OGL 1.1 drops. I don't know for sure. I will probably try to contact all these publishers and find out from them personally. One thing I can say is this title right now, along with this, are available for $15 in PDF form on DriveThruRPG right now. So it's a good time to pick it up. And these are all available on DriveThruRPG. I'm sorry, Biggest Geekus, Big Geek Emporium. I mean, you know, maybe next time, after they rebrand, they'll go with you guys. I hope so, because I would like to see your store get bigger too. There we go. Drop me some donations. Do I need to put my donation link in there? Do you think somebody will donate to me? I guess it's worth a try, huh? You find my tip link. I always forget to throw my tip link in there just because, well, I'm not used to it when people tip me. Here's my tip link if you like it. If you like what I have to say, if you like what I've shown you. Thank you very much for you guys who showed up. And, you know, I hope you guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, that you will. Because I could definitely use the boost. We just crossed 600 subscribers, and I would like to get to 1,000 so that I can get monetized and, I don't know, maybe actually help pay for Ironcaster stuff. Oh, Dave subscribed. Hey, thank you, Dave. I appreciate you, man. You're an indie developer? Well, heck, man. Yeah. I'm all interested in it. If you want to catch me, Dave, you can catch me up on Twitter. Let me grab my profile. There you go, guys. Ironcaster right on the ball. Yeah, catch me on Twitter. I'll give you a place that you can send your PDFs to, and I'll be happy to review them. I hope that the OGL 1.1 does not hurt you, Dave. I don't know what system you're using, but I support independent creators. I support smaller businesses. I support smaller business ventures. I think everything that we have looked at today is in every way superior to what you're going to get out of Wizards of the Coast right now, and probably for the foreseeable future, especially if you like it a little bit more dark and gritty. Oh, you're a third-party publisher for LFG Tier 2, are you? Okay, Brad. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Well, yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, if you want to talk to me outside or in Twitter, by all means, do it. I'm happy to talk to you. I'm happy to take a look at your work. I'm happy to show it off on my Week in Geek show or my Dungeons and Discussion show. And, you know, I'll give you a signal boost if I can, because I want you to succeed. I think that there's enough room in the TTRPG space that we don't need a giant corporation trying to squeeze us all out. And by us, I mean I also have properties that are in danger from the OGL 1.1. But yeah, there's lots of room out there. There's lots of people. There's lots of tastes. There's lots of choices, and that's the way it should be. It should not be one monolithic company that dominates the entire market. That's against everything that business practices are for, in my opinion. Oh, you guys both made stuff for Low Fantasy Gaming. How awesome. Joseph, you started a job in game design? Hey! All right, Shadow and Sun, and you're following me on Twitter now. Thank you very much. And yeah, Shadow and Sun has got some good stuff coming out. If you're an old Arduin fan like we are, You will like Shadow and Son because he is a big proponent of the Arduin Grimoire written by the late Dave Hargrave. Good stuff. Matter of fact, just for you Hargrave fans out there, let me throw you. If you're interested in acquiring some very old school property, I definitely recommend checking out Arduin Grimoire at Emperor's Choice. It's as old school gets. If you don't know who Dave Hargrave is, he was one of the guys who initially wanted to go head-to-head with Dungeons & Dragons, and his stuff was good. As far as I know, he had the first critical hits and fumble tables that we've ever used. He had unique mechanics, he had unique monsters, he had a unique setting. And he was so open to fan creation and fan content. In fact, just to tell you a story about it real quick, there was a couple named Ben and Mary Azell who were such fans of Arduin Grimoire that they literally camped out on his doorstep. I kid you not. And begged for him to write another book, which is how the third Arduin book was written. And they continued to write books with the Arduin seal of approval, I guess with a little bit of oversight from Dave as time went on, and all those grimoires are available on that site. You can look at some truly old school gaming if you pick up any of those titles. I recommend them. It's just a great look at the past. It's a great historical piece, if for nothing else, to generate ideas for your games. I believe so, Cerulean Rex. Don't absolutely quote me on that, but I believe it was the first crit and fumble table, and it was beastly. Let me tell you. I believe one of the crits on there was body cut in twain, instant death. But all right, guys, that is it for tonight. Still got plenty of games to talk about that you may be losing when the OGL 1.1 drops, and I'm going to keep talking about these games every night if I can, or at least as often as I can, to get word out so that you will have an opportunity to take a look at them for yourself before they're possibly gone. I'll also try to talk to some of these creators and find out what their plans are. If you tuned into my show yesterday, I showed off this little ditty right here, which is Sacrifice and Incense and Iron RPG. This is Berserk with the serial numbers filed off. I absolutely kid you not. If you're a Berserk fan, get this now, because I have talked to Alex, the guy who publishes this, and he is unsure if he will be able to continue it or not past the OGL 1.1. Certainly it will complicate things for him. But if you're an OSR player, if you're a D&D player, and you're a big fan of Berserk, go get this. Go get this right now. Right now. It's on DTRPG. Oh, thank you, Brett. I appreciate that. All right. Well, that's all we've got for tonight. Like I said, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope if you're catching this on the replay that you will enjoy what I've highlighted. I hope you find some use in it. And if you do decide to pick up the books, I hope you enjoy them. I hope I have not misled you in any way, because I'm truly enthusiastic about these products. I would not endorse them if I did not like them. Because I'm not gonna feature games on my channel that I don't like. Because what's the point? You know, just to hold it up and say, oh, it's a piece of crap. No, I'm not here to shame anybody. I'm here to talk about the good things. And these are all really good things. So take care. And we will hopefully see you tomorrow.